Hello, it's Sammy here, and today I want to talk about one principle that helped me to overcome 7 year long alcohol addiction. So, let's talk about it. First, when we want to overcome alcohol addiction, we have to understand what we are really doing. When most people talk about sobriety or overcoming alcohol addiction, they think in terms of absence of alcohol or that sobriety is way of living. But I would say that the sobriety is not a way of living, but it's a state of consciousness. We just have to understand this consciousness that creates the effect of being without alcohol and how we create this consciousness that creates the sobriety. We just have to understand the environment that creates this consciousness. First, let's look what is the difference between environment that creates addictions and an environment that creates the consciousness of sobriety. If we are in a situation where we have a lot of dysfunctions in ourselves, a lot of unsolved traumas, or we are not okay with ourselves, or we are not having direction in life, or anything that inspires us, then I would say that we live an environment where addictions can thrive. In the other hand, if we are in a situation where we are okay with ourselves, we are content with our lives, and we have something that inspires us, we have the direction, then I would say that we live in an environment that creates sobriety. So now we have the right focus. We understand that it's the consciousness that creates sobriety. And it's not the way of living, but it's a state of being. Now I want to give you a clear roadmap how you can create an environment that creates this consciousness of sobriety. So first thing what we have to do is we have to shift our mindset. We have to approach sobriety in the same way than athletes approach their sport. And if we can have that kind of dedication, then the sobriety will be guaranteed. There is no question about it. Next thing is about understanding the effect that creates this consciousness of sobriety. So if we think about beyond physical addiction, if we think about more the root cause of addiction that is in the mind, then I would say that the number one effect that creates sobriety is being okay with yourself and being content with your life. In that situation, I would say that it's really hard to have any kind of addictions. So now we have the effect. Being okay with yourself and learning to understand yourself, because I would say that when you learn to understand yourself, you become okay with yourself. Now we just have to understand the causes that creates the effect of understanding yourself and being okay with yourself. And the causes are your habits. So the first pillars of these habits is awareness. If you can design your lifestyle in a way that raises your awareness, then it's way easier to create sobriety. Because it's really hard to create sobriety if you still have the same consciousness that creates your addiction. So we have to have some way to raise this consciousness in a level where it can create sobriety. So these can be habits like daily meditation practice and journaling and reading. And when you do those three things daily, then it will start automatically raise your awareness. The next thing is your mental environment. It's really important to have proper mental environment where sobriety can thrive. And I can give you example about a mental environment that creates addictions. If we are too judgmental for ourselves, if we over criticize ourselves or being too harsh for ourselves, then we will be in an environment that creates addictions, because those mental habits supports more addictions than sobriety. But if we can create acceptance, compassion, and being loving for ourselves, then we operate from the environment where sobriety can arise naturally. Next thing is your daily activities and your relationships. If you see people who only makes you desire to drink, or if you do activities that makes you desire to drink, then it's not proper environment for sobriety. So we have to replace those things with the things that supports your sobriety, and really becoming aware your current daily activities and relationships. Last thing about this environment is your physical health. It's so easier to achieve things when you have great physical health. It's also impacts your mood, and when you are strong physically, you are strong mentally. So have a daily exercise routine and good sleeping hygiene and good diet, and when you have those three things, you will have amazing physical health. So that's basically how you create an environment that creates the consciousness of sobriety. So let's do a little recap. First, we have a new focus. We understand that sobriety is a state of consciousness. We just have to understand the environment that creates this consciousness and how we create this environment. Three things. First, we have the right mindset. We approach sobriety like an athlete approach their sport. We have the right dedication. Next, we understand the effect that creates sobriety. Being okay with yourself, and we become okay with ourselves when we learn to understand ourselves. Next is the habits that creates the environment that leads to sobriety. And we have 4 pillars of these habits. First is awareness, then is mental well-being, then comes physical health, and then we have to understand our daily activities and our relationships. And when you master those 4 things, you will create an environment that leads to sobriety. So yes, that's basically it is. So lastly, I just want to say that if you really implement these things in your life and you start to do daily the right things, then your sobriety will be guaranteed. And this is not just about sobriety, but this is more about lifelong principles. Whatever you want to achieve, you just have to understand the environment that creates the desired result. So yes, that's my message for this video. So thank you for watching it, and bye bye.